Today we're going to analyze the websites of the best companies to come out of Shark Tank.
That's sheer insanity. I'm out.
We're going to be ranking them S through F tier based off of 3 criteria: design, clarity, and conversion. So how they look, how well they tell you what the product does, and how well they get customers to buy. My name is Connor Zanoli.
I'm David Sasshauer.
We're the co-founders of MainPixel, a website design firm, and we build a couple hundred websites every single month. And the goal with this channel is to help you guys make websites that are modern and actually convert customers. With that being said, let's get right into the video.
Company number 1, Scrub Daddy.
Starting with design, I personally think that this is kind of a 10 out of 10. I don't think it can get much simpler than this. Maybe they could have different products on the front page, but I think overall it does a pretty perfect job at showing you what they're in the business of, which is cleaning, and showing the product in action.
And even the use of their fonts, like I think it matches their brand, and you kind of see that brand congruence across the entire site. So I definitely, honestly, would give this a super high rating. And yeah, it's definitely distinct too. Like you don't really see a lot of other sites like this with their colorway, their fonts, even like the little pictures they use. So I definitely like it.
The other thing I do like about this is their color usage. We're going to talk about this more in a later video, but all of the packaging, if you see it at a store, is the exact same color as the website color, and like the font and the logo is all exactly the same. So I like that because it builds a really strong brand, a strong association with Scrub Daddy being very unique from any other product, because sometimes packaging is kind of overlooked, but when they match with the website, you know immediately, okay, this is a Scrub Daddy product, and it gives a very cohesive look. So definitely pros for that.
So clarity, we talk about this in a lot of the videos that we do. Having a really low reading level is super important. We see that it really skyrockets conversion, and also at the same time, just keeps the website super simple and super clear on what they do. So I like how when you come to the website, they could have used some fancy wording, but they said smile while you scrub, like super simple.
Basic
And
English.
Even the call to actions, browse the smile shop. I kind of like that, and throughout the site just seems very clear what they do. And you also see that with the way they use the pictures too, not just the wording. So
Yeah.
I like the way they display it. I think it has pretty good clarity.
Yeah, I think overall the clarity is good, especially on the home page. But again, on the shop page, I really just don't think they're thinking about it from the buyer's perspective as much as the manufacturer, because when I'm thinking about products, I'm not going to think about them based off of if they have a handle or if they have a certain attachment. I'm going to be thinking, what am I using this for most of the time? And so I do think, again, on that shop page, if they'd organize things based off of use case and behavior, I think that might make it a little bit better. But again, that's super nitpicky because their sales are probably insanely good. I would say that's my only ding on the clarity. The front page is very, very good, very, very clear, concise, and a low reading level. So overall, solid clarity.
So on the third category, we're going to talk about conversion. I think they did a really good job here. I like at the top, we talked about this in an earlier video, but they have the top banner, which is free shipping on orders over $30. If you don't know, the top banner is a really good way to have or to drive traffic to any sort of promotion or offer. It's like usually the most clicked on webs or part of the website for most companies. And so definitely when you can take advantage of this because it's super valuable.
Another thing to note, which is good about Scrub Daddy, is they make the free shipping banner in yellow, so that really stands out when it goes against that orange, really giving you kind of like a natural focal point. I like the free shipping over $30, again, encouraging you to buy. The only thing I would say that might help them would be to steal the Amazon button and add a buy now feature. And so instead of adding to cart, which means you have to go to the cart, click into the cart, and then purchase, if they just had buy now and you could buy an individual product right then and there, it would eliminate a couple steps, and I think that could help them. I think basically every e-commerce product should have that now because it just makes it so easy to buy. Granted, that is a bit more difficult than it is to just say, but that might be one thing on conversion that would help them is they have to have that buy now button.
I think Scrub Daddy, I'd put it
A.
Put it an A.
Yeah.
I don't want to give it the S tier, even though it was really good. I want to reserve that for, maybe at the end we'll reevaluate.
Yeah, we could readjust at the end.
I think this is definitely an A. Definitely does not deserve anything lower than that. And again, super huge company, so they're doing something right.
A tier, really good website, really solid start.
All right, let's go to the second website. A lot of people are familiar with this, The Comfy. Design, number 1. I mean, it's hard because I don't think they're going for like this really elaborate, fancy design, like, the colors pop out at you, whatever. I mean, they chose black and white that themes across the entire site. So I don't want to judge it too hard from like a critical designer standpoint. But I think the design is fine. Like, first of all, I like the fonts, to be, happy about it. Like, to actually talk about it nicely. I like the font. Colorway, when they have this little green thing, is kind of cool to me. Yeah, it feels really like lighthearted. I think it goes well with like the whole.
Yeah, the brand is good. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit more harsh on this. I think it's kind of bad. It's not bad. Again, it's a fine Shopify site. It gets the job done. But if you want to upgrade this, I think you could very, very easily First of all, it's a white comfy on white text with a white call to action button. So you have no visual separation between very important things and very important information. So number one, they want to get, I think it's going for the panda theme, which is their brand, which I understand, right? But at the same time, they're willing to add green right here. Why is the call to action button also white on a white background? If they just made that a red, a green, a yellow, something that pops out, it's going to stand out way better, similar to how Scrub Daddy did it, which is very more visually engaging. Second, I think the font is just honestly not that good. Again, it's fine to read, but if you have like I have pretty good vision, but if you don't have good vision, white on white, it just seems like a really big oversight. Even adding a background or some different kind of color would be really beneficial here. So final points from the design. Again, it's not terrible. It gets the job done. But I think because they're willing to use color and they're willing to use different fonts, I think this type of bigger font with no outline or no stroke is what it's called in Photoshop would have been a little bit better in my opinion for the front page, and maybe lowering the opacity to make this slightly less opaque and then making the text stand out a little bit better. I think Scrub Daddy did that as well. That would look really good on here. Just a couple of things I think can make it a little bit clearer, and that'll also kind of hurt the clarity if that first page isn't nailed. Overall, design's pretty good. They have testimonials. They have a lot of good stuff going, but I think for a company this big, it could be just a little bit better. So now into the clarity. I think the clarity is okay. On the first page, they're just wasting space because number one, they have this information twice. They have the all-new Comfy Breeze now available in limited quantities is on the banner, as you can see right now. However, the banner is rotating, so they have 3 different messages, and one of them is Shop the Comfy, which I think also dilutes the other 2. And second of all, the 100% cotton, 100% you, again, is kind of a nonsense statement. 100% cotton is a cool statistic, but they should lean into that more because
Most people don't care.
most people don't care. I mean, sure, if that's something they know their audience cares about, they should use it, but they should make it just the focal point, and then they should take out the 100% you because, again, that just doesn't mean anything, or they should make a little bit of a slogan around it because I just, in my opinion, as a hater, that to me isn't really doing anything, and I don't think it accomplishes any goal.
You know what it is? I think they're really great when it comes to the photos. I mean, we could argue about this or whatever, these photos here. I think they're actually pretty clear when it comes to the photos, but the copywriting just honestly needs a lot of work.
But now into the conversion. I think this is kind of tough because it's a culmination of all the 3, the copywriting and the design. But I think, again, this is just okay. It's really hard to convert given the fact that a lot of stuff on the website is just kind of bland. They do they do a lot of sales. In terms of just purely like the website, have maybe the call to action buttons a different color, make the copy slightly better on terms of like what it's saying, clarity would, in my opinion, make it just a little bit easier to buy. The really good big plus that I see is that they have the shop pay, and that just makes it so seamless to check out, which I think is a huge plus. And that's also a really big reason to use Shopify if you're e-commerce, because it just makes it so frictionless. It's basically like buying something on Amazon, and then you have the tracking immediately go to the shop app. So I think that's a big plus for the conversion. So it's overall okay.
A kind of an underrated section too. I always talk about like for a product business, like show the product in use. So I kind of like how they have this like living hashtag the comfy life, or I guess you can see these like the people actually wearing them in different settings. So like this person's on a hammock, like that's kind of smart. They're like, well, these kids are cuddling. Like I think it's nice. It's tough because I really like the product, but I think the website could have been a lot better. I'm gonna put it at a B.
And again, to keep in mind, this is not a ranking of the company. Like these companies have insanely good marketing and huge sales. Like who are we to say like how to run the business? We're just talking about the website and if the website does what it should. And for that, it's a B tier. It's not a ranking of the company. Just kind of want to reinforce that because we're not saying it's a bad business whatsoever. It does like millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. So good business, but I think a B tier website. Yeah. Next website is Tipsy Elves. All right. So in my opinion, the design it's okay. Again, it's so hard to say because if you know what you want out of this and you're going to shop for like, I don't know, leprechaun pants or whatever, it's not going to be bad. This is all designed just fine, very standard kind of clothing company style. But this homepage is for me just so overwhelming. There's so much going on. There, again, the 3 bars at the top just are all asking for your attention, plus 2 call to action buttons. It's just a lot in your face. It's 4 call to action buttons, 2 banners, and a 3rd for the menu. It's just a lot all in one. I really like simplicity. That's a bit of a preference. Some websites are, even more complicated than this, especially from a data standpoint. It's going to be really hard to track database of this design. And for me, that kind of gives it a couple of kind of negatives.
Yeah, and not to get too much into the clarity session, but like if they just explain the mission or just like move things around a little bit differently. I'd be able to understand this website a lot better. Think about this. We've never seen this website and we immediately were like, what is going on? I know it's clothing, but like, is it a St. Patrick's thing? Like, is it a ski sort of company? Like, we had to go find the about section. And like, if you didn't know anything about websites, you wouldn't know to look for the footer. Like, you would just probably be lost and click off. And as I always say, like, a confused customer or confused prospect doesn't buy. I think they could have done a little bit better job from the design standpoint to actually make it more obvious. So clarity, again, I think they could have done a better job here as well.
It's just a distracting website. That's how I'd put it.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
I would rather, again, I think it was like the fifth time saying this, but I'd rather the website actually be like, we make outrageous clothes and just have a whole array of a bunch of random stuff. Okay, I'm prepared for it, but it just feels like I'm thrown into like, I think these pictures on the right and the left feel like traditional clothing brands.
100%.
So I'm looking for it like that.
And it feels like two websites in one, which
Yeah.
again, it just makes it less.
Like a ski and a St. Patrick's.
100%. And it makes it less effective. So I think what you could imagine is like, boom, you take just a St. Patrick's and you have that headline of like, we make outrageous clothes, then shop St. Patrick's men and women. That would be such a clear attention funnel from, okay, I see what you're doing here, Tipsy Elves. Oh, you have a St. Patrick's line for this holiday. Now I'm going to shop. Versus like, first of all, first thing you're doing is making a decision. And this causes overwhelm straight from the get-go. Because you're like, okay, what am I doing here? Am I doing St. Patrick's? Am I doing snow? And then it's asking a lot of you from like a decision-making standpoint right away. And as like a lot of research has shown, decision fatigue is a real thing. And I think this is decision fatigue inducing. So again, on clarity, very similar design, could definitely be better and could make a lot of things more obvious. But when it comes to the menu for buying each individual thing, very standard shop stuff. So just okay. Yeah, now into conversion.
I just wonder what sort of split tests like changing the headline and like saying that outrageous clothes or whatever thing in the front would do to the site. I'm sure they have a pretty good team for that sort of stuff if they're an e-commerce brand. But personally, like, I was a little bit lost. So from a conversion standpoint, again, not anything to do with this company. Like, maybe they're doing a lot of money, but I think like from best principles, I think it could have been a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm honestly going to give it a C when it comes to conversion. Don't really understand what's going on. And they have a pretty cool company. Like, it's a really great idea. I think they have a cool brand, like with Tipsy Elves. I think they could have done better with like conversion. Reese, let us put it in the rank.
I'm gonna honestly go C tier.
I'm going to go C.
I think again, just based off the other websites, we might bump all these up one. If nothing, beats the Scrub Daddy, then that'll be the new S. Again, I just think they could do a better job. Now into the next website, Dude Wipes. Ooh, I like this, dude.
Video. Oh yeah. Let's get into it. Design, I honestly am going to give this a really high grade just because I like the font they have. I like the images are super simple. Videos, I mean, if you can use videos, use them, and they have high quality. I know they have probably a super high production budget, but super great videos.
Adam Mosseri, the CEO of Instagram, was asked, hey, why is Instagram, preferring Reels versus, photo content? And he's like, no. We've done lots of studies. It's just people prefer videos over photos. And so, again, it's not applicable to everybody. If you have a service-based business or a very simple product, it might not be as applicable to use a video. But if you can use humor like this, really go ahead and do it.
But it's not only just like throwing a video to be like lazy or whatever, but it actually is like they're really well placed. I just think they know who they're talking to.
Yeah.
I like the design.
Yeah, 100%. I think the other thing about this is just feels so cohesive, and you compare that to like the Comfy. When you click on different things, it kind of feels like you're going from like almost different websites and different messaging. It's like one's a different color. This is all the same color. Everything's about the same font. It's this very like kind of bold white font and on a black background. So I really do like that as well for design.
Clarity, again, might be an S as well because there's not much I can really say. I mean, it's really hard to come to this website and not understand what they do.
The product name is explanatory. Compare that to something like Tipsy Elves. Literally could be a million things. Probably should be an alcohol if you think about it. It's Dude Wipes. It's super obvious. And again, it's a simple product, so it gets the benefits of just being super self-explanatory on a website. Overall, really like it. I think that this is a overall great website. But now into conversion.
The only thing I guess I would say, which you mentioned, was I've never really seen a call to action. Like, you get to the website and then it filters you to another video, which I'm assuming is then like another call to action.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be, if I were to split test, I'd wonder, it's almost like they have a website to another sales page to then the buy, which is really weird because let's say they're running ads. Do they run ads to the website to then another, like a VSL kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if that extra step affects the sales process.
All right, but now into the ranking. I mean, other websites can be an S tier, but this is S tier. This This is my favorite website so far.
It's actually probably
It just
my
does.
favorite
It just does. Yeah, me too. 100%. This is just. It does little things, just slightly better than a ScrubDaddy. Keeping the font consistent, for example, making it very obvious for use case. It's a very simple business, so again, it kind of benefits from that because ScrubDaddy has so many products. Overall, I don't know. Could not really change anything other than maybe that call to action button, and for that reason, give it an S. The next website is, what is it called? Cousins
Main Lobster.
First of all, design. I love this branding. I think it's honestly super, super clear, super concise. And I like how it's a bit of a longer kind of intro, which we'll get into more in the copy. But on a design standpoint, I like how they have the two different kind of like sentences are in black and then red. That makes it really simple. And they keep that consistent throughout, which gives it just a nice cohesive thing. Again, when compared to something like the Comfy, this to me is one of the best designed websites. It's so clear. And also this scrollable feature is just awesome. It's just so cool. It's kind of just like fun to watch.
Dude, you know what's funny? When I pulled this website up, I thought this was gonna be one of the worst ones. Just like, okay, a food company, how could they do it? But honestly, from a design standpoint, it's gotta be. It's tough because Dude Wipes was like, it wasn't the best because of design like itself. You know, because they shoot videos, but like the actual like here the roadmap.
Dude Wipes didn't violate anything. They did everything consistently. This kind of goes like above and beyond. This is like you're earning bonus points to design, whereas Dude Wipes is kind of like boom, cover the bases perfectly. This is like wow, this is memorable. Like I will remember this website as being super clean. Mm-hmm. And the other thing to note, which will kind of go into clarity, is this is the second business that me and David haven't heard of before. It was this and Tipsy Elves, and immediately we knew what it was doing based off of the copy. And so from a clarity standpoint, I think it does a really good job because this is just super simple. It's like, okay, what does it do? First of all, lobster is in the name, but then it's like, oh, we're bringing lobster to your neighborhood. Okay, very simple. And then it says ship lobster from Maine, which is, again, very, very straightforward. And the call to action even explains kind of like what the business model does because it's telling you they ship lobster, which is kind of interesting. On design, A, and clarity, I think is really good as well. I kind of blended the two there.
I'd give it, honestly, an S for clarity.
100%. I honestly S for both, in my opinion. In terms of conversion, again, let's go to this. It's hard.
Let's click it.
Okay, this maybe again, Maine Lobster shipped direct to your door. Again, reinforcing it. Maybe they could go straight into like.
I like that.
Pop-up's good. Claims the email. I mean, I think it's good. I think you go into it. Maybe they could, I think, go straight into this page and you get like what you're buying right away.
It feels like a restaurant menu, you know.
The other thing to note is that this is the first business that's kind of a blend of both e-commerce and service because this is way more, on the service side of things. And so kind of a rule of thumb is that you want to be more tell and a little bit less show on a service side of things because no one really cares about you shipping the lobster. So explaining the business is really nice. And so I think they do that really well, which is, again, a plus for clarity. For conversion, again, I might bump up, might make it a little easier to get to like the selecting the things you want, but I think it's so good. This is a surprisingly good website. Maybe, but I don't know.
I'm gonna give it an S.
I'm gonna give it S too.
I'm not gonna be nitpicky. I really like it.
I mean, they could use a video, but I think this is probably one that benefits more from photos because, like, again, from my value standpoint, like all I care about is like what does it look like? Can I eat it? Like more than like But I think again, this is great. Very surprising. That's an S tier. Great website. Yeah. And to wrap up, if you like this kind of content, please do subscribe because we're trying to make 2 videos every single week all about how to make your website as good as possible. We're going for a little bit more of an entertainment style video with this, where we kind of, drag it on a little bit more conversational, a little less to the point and like telling you what to do, but like what we like, examples. And yeah, if you like it, subscribe, comment anything that you want to see. And if you want a website built for you, we do that as well. So you can hit us up at MainPX on LinkedIn, Instagram, or basically any platform that you can think of. And that's basically all I got. So I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.